Captain Dex Morrison's cargo hauler drifted toward the derelict station, its hull scarred by years of solar radiation. The distress beacon had been broadcasting for 3 days, weak but persistent. Most pilots would ignore it, too busy with profitable runs to bother with abandoned outposts. But Dex had always been different. The station's docking bay accepted his ship with grinding, reluctant machinery. Emergency lighting cast everything in hellish red. Dex sealed his helmet and stepped into the airlock, plasma cutter ready. The corridors beyond were cold as space itself. He found her in the engineering section, collapsed beside a failing life support console. She was unlike any being he'd seen before, tall and graceful, with luminescent blue skin that pulsed faintly with her heartbeat. Silver hair cascaded around pointed ears, and her face held delicate features that seemed almost human. Almost. Hey, Dex knelt beside her, checking for injuries. Can you hear me? Her eyes fluttered open, deep violet, like twin nebulae. She tried to speak, but only managed a whisper. The atmosphere, failing, Dex's scanner confirmed it. Oxygen levels critical. He scooped her into his arms, surprised by how light she felt. I've got you. My ship's pressurized. She clutched his jacket with surprising strength. Why? Why help me? Because you're alive, Dex said simply, carrying her toward the docking bay. That's reason enough. In his ship's medbay, she gradually recovered. Color returned to her skin, though she remained wary. I am Zara Veltari, she said, her accent musical, despite her weakness. You saved my life, human, Dex Morrison. And saving lives is what humans do. Zara studied him with those remarkable eyes. Your species has interesting reputation. Some say you are warriors. Others call you saviors. Maybe we're both. Dex adjusted the medical scanner, trying not to notice how the light played across her features. What happened to your station? Zara's expression darkened. My people, they left me here. Said I was too dangerous to live among them. She touched a strange mark on her throat, part scar, part tattoo. This marking. It means I carry the genetic memory of our ancient enemies. They feared what I might become. That's their loss, Dex said quietly. You seem pretty incredible to me. Something shifted in Zara's gaze, a warmth that hadn't been there before. You truly believe this? I believe everyone deserves a chance. Dex's hand brushed hers as he reached for the scanner controls. The contact sent electricity through both of them. Stay with me. I could use someone who knows alien tech. Zara's fingers intertwined with his, her skin warmed despite its strange glow. Perhaps the stars brought us together for a reason, outside the viewports. The abandoned station fell away into darkness, leaving only the vast cosmos ahead and two hearts beginning to beat as one. Part 2. Trust in the darkness. Dex's ship. The wandering star pushed through the crimson nebula's swirling gases. The navigation was treacherous, but it offered perfect cover from anyone who might be tracking them. Zara had insisted on taking this route, though she hadn't explained why. She worked beside him at the engineering console, her movements graceful and precise. Over the past week, they'd fallen into an easy partnership. She understood systems he'd never seen before, while he provided the intuitive piloting that kept them alive. There, Zara pointed to a fluctuation in the power grid. The plasma conduit is overheating again. They crawled into the maintenance shaft together, the space barely wide enough for 2 people. Zara's body pressed against his as they maneuvered around the conduit junction, and Dex tried to focus on the repair work instead of the way her skin seemed to glow in the dim light. Dex. Zara's voice was soft in the confined space. I must tell you something. The marking on my throat. It means I am hunted. He turned to face her, their faces inches apart. By who? My own people. The Veltari Council believes I carry the memories of the Devourers, our species' ancient enemy. They think I might ... transform. Her violet eyes shimmered with unshed tears. Everyone I have ever loved has abandoned me because of this fear. Dex reached up and gently traced the mark on her throat. Zara shivered at his touch. I'm not afraid of you, he whispered. You should be, she breathed. Sometimes, in my dreams, I see through their eyes. I feel their hunger for destruction. Then we'll face it together." His thumb brushed across her cheek. "Dreams don't define us. Our choices do." Zara closed her eyes and leaned into his touch. "You truly are unlike any being I have known." The ship shuddered around them, and they reluctantly pulled apart to finish the repairs. But the moment had changed something between them. As they worked, their hands touched more often, lingering each time. That night, Zara appeared at Dex's quarters. She wore a simple shift that seemed to be made of liquid starlight, clinging to her curves. "I cannot sleep," she admitted. "The dreams, they are stronger near you. Good dreams or bad dreams?" "Both." She stepped closer, her skin pulsing with soft light. "When I dream of the devourers, I also dream of you standing against them, protecting me. Loving me despite what I am." Dex cupped her face in his hands. "Those aren't dreams, Zara. That's a promise." Their lips met in a kiss that tasted like stardust and hope. She molded against him, her body warm and trembling. When they finally broke apart, her skin was glowing brighter, painting the room in soft blue radiance. "Stay with me tonight," Dex whispered against her temple. Zara nodded, and they fell onto his bunk together, holding each other as the nebula swirled around their ship like a cosmic embrace. The asteroid mining colony of Haven's Rest wasn't much to look at, a collection of prefab domes connected by sealed walkways, clinging to a chunk of rock rich in rare minerals. But it was remote enough to lay low while Dex planned their next move. They rented a small hab unit on the colony's outer ring. Zara rarely left their quarters during the day, spending hours at the window watching the miners work the asteroid's surface. Her luminescent skin had grown brighter since they'd become intimate, and she worried about drawing attention. "Commander Thekrazin," Zara whispered, studying the security feeds on her datapad. "He has found us." Dex looked over her shoulder at the image, a tall, posing figure in dark armor, boarding a shuttle at the colony's main dock. "Friend of yours? The one who abandoned me on the station?" Zara's voice held barely contained fury. "He convinced the council I was too dangerous to live. Now he has come to finish what exile could not." Dex pulled her away from the window and into his arms. "Then we run. My ship's fueled and ready." "No." Zara's eyes blazed with violet fire. "I am tired of running." "Tired of being afraid?" She pressed against him, her skin warm with inner light. "If I am to become the monster they believe me to be, let it be in defense of the one I love." Their kiss was desperate, hungry. Dex's hands roamed her body as she pressed him back onto their narrow bunk. Her shift dissolved at her touch, revealing skin that glowed like captured moonlight. She straddled him, her silver hair cascading around them like a waterfall. "Whatever happens," she breathed against his lips, "know that you have given me something my people never could. You have given me choice." The hab unit's cum system chimed. "Attention colonists," came Dex's cold voice over the speakers. "We seek a dangerous fugitive, a marked one who threatens all life. Surrender her, and your colony will be spared." Zara tensed above Dex, but he pulled her down for another kiss. "Let them come," he murmured. "I've got a few tricks they haven't seen before." They dressed quickly and made their way to the colony's command center. The miners had gathered there, confused and frightened. Their leader, a grizzled woman named Captain Torres, was arguing with Thek over the cum. "This is a human colony," Torres was saying. "We don't answer to your council. The creature among you is a threat to all life," Thek replied. "Stand aside or be considered accomplices." Dex stepped forward and activated the cum. "Commander Thek, this is Captain Morrison. The woman you're hunting is under my protection." A pause. "Then humans. Always interfering where you are not wanted. She will destroy everything you care about, Morrison. It is her nature. Her nature is to love," Dex said firmly. "Something your people apparently don't understand." Zara moved to stand beside him, her hand finding his. Around them, the miners began to nod. Whatever else she was, they could see that she cared for Dex, and that was enough for them. "1 hour," Dex said finally. Then we take her by force. The cum went dead. Zara looked up at Dex, her eyes bright with tears and determination. You would fight for me? She whispered. Always, he said, and meant it. Battle among the stars? The Veltari warships descended on Haven's Rest like silver predators, their weapons charging with ominous light. Dex had never seen ships quite like them, organic curves that seemed to flow rather than be built, pulsing with the same bioluminescence as Zara's skin. 3 battle cruisers and a dozen fighters, Captain Torres reported from the command center. Our mining lasers won't do much against military-grade shielding. Dex studied the tactical display while Zara worked at a jury-rigged interface, her fingers dancing over alien controls. Can you access their systems? He asked. Perhaps? Veltari ships are partially alive. They respond to genetic markers. Zara's marking on her throat began to glow brighter. But using my abilities will reveal exactly what I am. And what's that? Torres asked bluntly. Zara met her gaze steadily. A weapon the Veltari created and then feared to use. The colony's shields flared as the first barrage struck. Emergency lights bathed everything in red as power fluctuated throughout the habitat. Domes Zara. Dex turned to face her fully, taking her hands in his. I need you to know something before this goes any further. What? Her violet eyes searched his face. I love you. Not because you're alien, not because you're powerful, but because of who you choose to be every single day. He pulled her against him, kissing her fiercely as explosions rocked the colony around them. Whatever happens, remember that. Tears streamed down her luminous cheeks. And I love you, my brave human. You have shown me that I can be more than what others made me to be. Another volley struck the shields. Warning alarms screamed throughout the station. That's our cue, Dex said. Releasing her reluctantly, Zara placed her palms against the interface. Her skin blazed with light so intense the others had to shield their eyes. The marking on her throat pulsed like a heartbeat, and suddenly the tactical display shifted. Veltari ship signatures wavered and flickered. Their navigation systems, she gasped. Power flowing through her like liquid fire. I can confuse them. Make them see false targets. The lead battle cruiser suddenly veered off course, firing at empty space. Its escort ships followed, their formation dissolving into chaos. Now, Dex shouted into the cum. All mining crews target the engines. Industrial cutting lasers, never meant for combat, lanced out from the asteroid's surface. They weren't powerful enough to penetrate shields, but they were precise enough to exploit the gaps Zara was creating in the ships. Confusion. One fighter exploded in a brilliant fireball. Then another. But the effort was taking its toll on Zara. She was burning so brightly now that her form was becoming difficult to look at directly. I cannot hold this much longer, she whispered. You don't have to, Dex said, taking her glowing hand. Torres, get everyone to the emergency shelters. We're going to finish this. Together. They ran through the colony's corridors toward the docking bay where the wandering star waited. Zara's light illuminated their path. Dex could feel the power radiating from her like heat from a star. They reached his ship just as Dex's personal fighter screamed overhead, hunting for them among the habdomes together. Dex asked as they strapped into the pilot seats. Always, Zara replied, her skin pulsing with the rhythm of their shared heartbeat. 6 months after the battle at Haven's Rest, Dex guided the wandering star through the atmosphere of an unnamed world on the galaxy's rim. Emerald forests stretched to the horizon beneath twin suns, broken by silver rivers and crystalline formations that caught the light like scattered jewels. It's beautiful. Zara breathed from the co-pilot seat. Her skin had settled into a gentler glow since that day, no longer the blazing intensity of her power unleashed, but a warm radiance that spoke of contentment rather than barely contained energy. They landed in a clearing beside one of the crystal formations. The first colonists were already there, miners from Haven's Rest, refugees from a dozen worlds. Humans and aliens alike who had heard the story of the woman who chose love over revenge and the man who saw her true heart, Captain Morrison. Zara. Captain Torres jogged over as they disembarked, her weather-beaten face creased in a rare smile. The prefab units are almost ready. We should have the first settlement buildings operational by next week. The colony they were building had no official name yet. Though some called it New Hope, others simply called it home. Dex preferred the latter. That evening, as the twin suns set over their new world, Dex and Zara walked to the edge of the crystal formation. The stones hummed with a musical resonance that seemed to respond to Zara's presence. Growing brighter as she approached. "They're alive," she said wonderingly, placing her palm against one of the larger crystals. "Not sentient, but ... aware. They welcome us, like I welcomed you," Dex said. Wrapping his arms around her from behind, she leaned back against his chest, her silver hair tickling his cheek. "You did more than welcome me. You chose to see me as I truly was, not as others said I should be. And what are you really?" he asked, though he thought he already knew. Zara turned in his arms, her violet eyes reflecting the crystal's glow. "I am Zara Veltari, engineer, explorer, and lover of impossible dreams. I am the woman who learned that her greatest power was not destruction, but creation." She touched his face gently. "And I am yours, if you will have me." Dex's answer was a kiss that tasted of new beginnings and endless possibilities. Around them, the crystals sang their approval, and in the distance, the sounds of construction continued as their people built something unprecedented, a true partnership between species, founded on understanding rather than fear. When they finally broke apart, Zara pulled something from her pocket, a small crystal pendant on a silver chain. "I made this for you," she said, fastening it around his neck. "It contains a fragment of my homeworld's core. Now you will always carry a piece of my past with you." Dex touched the pendant, feeling its warmth against his chest. "And this," he said, taking her marked hand and pressing it to his heart, "will always be home to your future." Above them, the twin moons rose over their new world, and in the growing settlement below, children of a dozen species played together under alien stars. The future stretched ahead of them, uncertain but bright with promise. Zara and Dex stood, together at the edge of everything they had built and everything they would become. Two hearts beating as one under an infinite sky. Proof that sometimes the greatest adventures begin not with a quest, but with a choice to see the light in someone others had given up as lost. Their love story had become legend among the stars, inspiring others to look beyond differences and fear. But for them, it was simply the beginning of every day they would spend together, building new worlds and writing new chapters in the endless book of possibility that was their shared tomorrow.